To me, the new 12-inch MacBook was the rumored iPad Pro in a sense. It is actually a new device category. It's an iPad with a keyboard. That's why it only has one port and one headphone jack, exactly as the iPad. And because of that, because it has a keyboard and it runs on OS X, OS X, and is a Mac, this is the Pro version of the iPad really. It's very, very thin, it is very light, almost as light as an iPad, and it's very fast, and it has a total perfectly integration with iOS. So this device is actually what everyone has been waiting for, waiting for the iPad Pro. The 12-inch MacBook is that device. It's actually no different from the rumors, more than it runs on OS X instead of iOS. And is that really something bad? Yes, I really love the iOS apps and especially all the iPad apps, but OS X apps, Mac apps, is even more professional, so you can choose from a lot more professional apps for this iPad Pro, the 12-inch MacBook. And you can do even more advanced video editing and music creation and so on this device, the 12-inch MacBook, than you can do on the iPad Air 2, for example, that I use for video editing and music making. And when it comes to price then, I mean, this is not an expensive device if you compare it to the iPad Air 2. This device can do so much more. It has a keyboard, it runs OS X, and it's very powerful, like an Intel Core i5 or i3 processor, depending on which model you choose. And you can do a lot more with it, with all the professional apps and so on. And the iPad Air 2, together with a nice keyboard cover case, cost as much. So the price is not bad at all. It's kind of great price for what you get. I've seen so many complaining about the price, that you can get a Windows laptop much cheaper and so on, but who wants a Windows laptop? Seriously, they are terrible. Terrible design, terrible build quality, and terrible user experience. This is a Mac, and the build quality is top notch. So you can't compare it to a cheap Windows laptop, and not even a Chromebook, because Chromebook is so limited. You can't do anything on a Chromebook, seriously. So you can't compare it to a Windows laptop or a Chromebook. This is a powerful device, even more powerful than the iPad Air 2 that I use as my main computer. Seriously, this can do even more, and it isn't more expensive if you compare it to the iPad Air 2 with a keyboard case, because this has a keyboard built into the device. You have to compare it to an iPad with a keyboard case. So this is a really nice device, so stop complaining about it. And personally, I'm interested in doing an experiment with a new 12-inch MacBook, compare it to my experience with the iPad as my main computer, living in the post-PC era and so on. So I maybe will do an experiment and try to see if this device is better for me than using an iPad as my main computer. But I will wait for the second generation of the 12-inch MacBook, probably, because I want to buy the larger iPhone before that. And I will wait for the iPhone 6s Plus before I buy the larger iPhone. I have the iPhone 6 at the moment, and I will try the larger iPhone to see if I can use it more like an iPad, so it can replace my iPad Air 2 with most of the features, and then later on buy the second generation of the 12-inch MacBook for using for video editing, music creation and so on. It will be very exciting. Okay, that was some of my thoughts about the 12-inch MacBook. Bye.